Hey, welcome everybody. Coming to you on a Sunday night to kind of brain some more information regarding some big Occam news this week. It's no secret that I like this project, and you guys know that I'm heavily invested in it. I do want to tell you that this isn't financial advice, and you should definitely do your own research, do your own due diligence before investing in any cryptocurrency. Um, it's it was a really big week for announcements, and I think they partially get left behind because some of the other news that's happening out there. It's no secret that Cardano was doing smart contracts. They're launched today, actually, I believe. And then you've also had the up and down Bitcoin or the whole market, so it's been kind of crazy. You've had a lot of information regarding XRP and everything going on with them with the SEC, and Ethereum gas fees have been through the roof. I know I tried to do one transaction this week, and it was actually $1,000 is how much the transaction was going to be in Ethereum, and I was like, screw that. So I'm waiting on a lot of those things. So first thing I want to do is talk about some of the announcements that have happened with Occam this week, because there's a ton. I've been in a many projects where I sit there and I get impatient and I wait and I wait, and you go months before you hear anything out of them. Not with Occam. And do they do everything that everybody likes? Well, no. I mean, they got their own mind. They're going to think and they're going to do things maybe a little differently than you might. But you have to trust the team if you're going to put your money into them. The first thing I want to talk about is actually related to Cardano because, as you know, Occam is working to transfer over to Cardano now. They're currently an Ethereum based coin, but will be Cardano based in the near future. There are a lot of people that think that Cardano immediately, all these projects that we're going to be launching on Cardano, they're just going to work immediately. Well, that's not the way things happen. You can kind of plan for things. They get the test net, they understand the coding. So they can transition quickly, but it could be a couple months before everything is really up and running correctly and they actually put out their launch to everyone. The big thing around that with Cardano is Charles Hoskinson, IOHK, which, if you don't know, Charles' organization, IOHK, is actually a backer of Occam.fi. And not only is he a backer, but multiple times this week he actually mentioned Occam.fi when discussing how they have actually solved the concurrency issue. And if you're not familiar with what concurrency is, it basically means that it can solve different problems in the algorithm or the equation at different points. It doesn't have to all be at the exact same time, in the exact same order. So this is a big issue when it comes to smart contracts and DEX. If you don't know what a DEX is, decentralized exchange, and a lot of people like to use decentralized exchange instead of something like KuCoin or Binance, which would be centralized exchanges. But Charles actually mentioned that they have solved the concurrency issue. There are quite a few influencers that I follow within the crypto space who, most of them are pretty big fans of Cardano. And I noticed, even today that George from Cryptos R Us had said, as far as he knows, nobody has solved the concurrency issue for Cardano yet. So, I messaged George and let him know, hey, you need to research this a little more because Charles actually mentioned that Occam has. And I think you're going to see more of that coming down the line. And as you can see on one of their articles here from September 6th, solving what Satoshi couldn't solve. And this actually talks about those exact details. So I would encourage you to go to the blog. It's on Occam.fi, Occam.fi. Go to the website, scroll down to the bottom, and you'll see a lot of the articles. So that was one of the main things that I saw. There are always people, anytime you go to a Telegram for any project, you're going to see people complaining. It happens. You can't satisfy everybody. This team listens more than any I've ever been a part of. One thing, people were worried about, well, are the seed investors going to dump private investors? Because there was somebody that had a lot. I mean, I think they had over 125,000 OCC. And so they've been dumping a little bit, keeping that price low. I think the buying pressure is picking up and going to increase that price. But yeah, they've kept it lower than what it probably should be. So that's an opportunity for anybody interested in OCC coins. Now might be the time. But they heard you talking, and they heard your concerns, And so they went back and they made the announcement this week that the seed investors and team members are electing for a longer vesting period. And I believe this is 2 years. We're going to look here real quick. So they've added 24 months to their vesting period. That is impressive, that they're not going to unlock their coins for 24 months. How many projects do you see doing that? I mean, they're like, oh, well, you know, that's the way it is. It was set up that way. That's really significant, and I think that's going to lead to a lot more trust with them as well, because you know you're not going to get dumped on. As far as projects this week, my God, they made so many announcements, and it's tough to get any true virality when you're making so many announcements at the same time. So in some ways, yeah, you know, I wish they would kind of break these up a little bit further, but also, you know, it happens when it happens, and who knows how often this is going to happen. So they just kept releasing and releasing. One of them is a project that actually, if you're watching this video when I put it up, you've actually still got time to stake, to buy your OCC coins, to stake them and get in, and it's called XP.network. One thing that I absolutely love about XP.network is they are solving problems that I believe exist right now. And I'm going to give you a couple examples of those. One obviously is the issue with Ethereum gas. You know, I told you the gas fees are just ridiculous. Well, they actually have built, and it's already built, it's in beta, you can actually test it. So it just hasn't been officially launched. They have launched an NFT multi-chain bridge, meaning, let's say you own an NFT on Ethereum. You can actually move it to another blockchain. And they mentioned many of them like DOT, Solana, Cardano. You know, there's quite a few. But they are going to be a multi-chain bridge for NFTs, which I think is a huge, huge deal. And I'm not talking about the art space deal. You know, an art NFT, okay, yeah, you know, it's big right now. I do think that esports, which we're going to talk about in a minute, NFTs with them in game will be a big issue going forward. But also, you know, one of the projects that they launched last week called Theos, that was on Occam Razer. It was an NFT project, and it wasn't your ordinary NFT project. Well, I can see how XP.network could be working with them in a huge way, because what Theos aims to do is to bring things like tickets. Well, we'll use tickets as an example. And I think in one of my other videos, I talked about the LA Rams and Theos's connection to them, and being able to create smart contracts so that when a ticket is sold on a third-party exchange, you know, like currently that would be like a StubHub or something like that. But in the blockchain space, if they create NFT tickets and there is a StubHub of the blockchain that's out there, and that ticket is sold for, say, $500 and the owner only paid $100 for it, they can actually put within the smart contract of that NFT a royalty fee that gives them money that's made off of that ticket. So that's just one example, but I think that will be huge when it comes to XP.network, because you're actually transferring these NFTs from chain to chain. That'll be a big issue. I mean, imagine being able to buy an NFT and it not costing you $500 for the transfer because of Ethereum gas fees. I think it's just ridiculous. But I really like XP.network, and they're also building a drag and drop dApp builder for Cardano, which is huge. You don't need to know code to create a dApp. That's a pretty big deal. I'm really excited for that, and I would love to do a video just on XP.network, but it's kind of late on that. I've got a couple other projects that I do plan on doing that on that I really like. But then let me go through a little bit more news. So that they had the IX swap IDO this last week. It wasn't one I actually contributed in. Every project is not going to be for me, and it might be for you, but that one wasn't for me. I wish I would have got in it. I mean, they did a co-launch with KuCoin, and so it listed on KuCoin, and I want to say it's 6 or 7x immediately, and I think it's up like 5x right now. I didn't like some of the tokenomics with it, where like the CED, and I'll explain CED if you haven't heard of this before. Well, CED is when you stake your OCC coins on Occam.fi, you actually get what they call CED rewards. CED rewards can come in multiple phases and multiple things. They can be cast out. So if somebody they decide to unstake their OCC and they had 1,000 coins in there, they would lose 4% of those coins as a fee that goes to the people that are continuing to stake. And so that 40 tokens would be split up among everybody else that has staked. But if you have at least 150 OCC staked, then that also allows you to get CED rewards from the products at launch. It doesn't mean you're going to be able to buy into each one of them, but what it does mean is that you are going to get coins for free from those projects that launch their IDOs. Let me open mine up real quick. I'll come back down to this, but so I have a little over 1,000 OCC staked. Actually, I can look here. So I've got a little over 1,000 OCC staked, 1,015 or 1,013 to be exact. Under my Razer rewards here in the panel, in the OCC panel, you can see that I've got CED rewards, 2 different types. So this is the cast out fee, which I have earned 5 extra coins in the last, I don't know, maybe month and a half. That doesn't sound like a lot. It's $50, but it's $50 that I wouldn't have before. But the things that I really like is I got Card Wallet, which I wasn't able to get into the Card Wallet IDO. It pissed me off, actually. I really wanted to get into that one. But with that 1,000 staked, that 1,000 OCC that I had staked, I got 375 Card Wallet, which is currently probably about 70 cents. So, what, $250 maybe for free? That was nice. And I did get some Legity as well. The Legity hasn't done quite as well, but I do like the Legity project. I was able to get in that IDO. But that kind of explains that part of it. If you don't want to stake for the CD rewards, you can do liquidity mining as well, which that current percentage is 39%. And what you do on that is you take your OCC, and if you have, let's just say it's 1,000 coins, you match that with the same dollar amount of Ethereum, and then you would stake those as liquidity on Uniswap. And within that same wallet, you would connect that same wallet to Occam Razer, or to the Occam Razer panel. And you would go into Uniswap, and then you would stake those coins, that LP tokens, because they'd be in the same wallet. And then you'd get roughly, currently it's 39%. So that's pretty good. I mean, if you got 1,000 based off the current rate, you'd get another 390 this year. That's a pretty good return. So let's go into the projects under the Razer panel. Like I said, XP.network actually is on the 14th, is when that's going to launch. The registration ends, let's see, what would that be? In about 5 or 6 hours from me actually filming this, so coming up pretty quick. There's a lot of projects coming up, which I will do some more detailed analysis into and let you know if it's something that I'm interested in. But Mobius, Ardana, Studium. I know there's a lot of people that are excited about dHealth. I haven't been much on the medical side into crypto, but I will do some research into it and see if it's something I'm interested in. But another one that I'm super, super excited about, and I think a lot of people missed out on this week, is Colizeum. You may not be aware of them, but they're in esports gaming, and they don't have a big following yet because people didn't know about them. But they created a game with Conor McGregor. Yes, the UFC Conor McGregor. He is actually in the game. I've reached out to them, and I've got some questions out to them so I can actually do a full video just on them, and that will be coming soon. They said they'll get the answers to me pretty soon. But they are looking to add play to earn and tournaments within gaming, and it's really, really cool. But I'll bring up more information on that, and hopefully, we get Connor to talk about it at some point as well. So those are the things that I'm really interested in this week. I hope you guys take a look at that. There's a lot of good projects currently. If you're interested in Occam.fi, Actually, you can click it from up here. Let's go back. You can click up here on the top where on Occam.fi and click buy OCC, and it's going to take you to Uniswap. And so this is where you would buy it. Currently, let's go take a look. Current price is $9.95. I think this actually held up really good through the Bitcoin drop. Yes, it did drop like every other coin, but it's been pretty steady and it's working its way up. If you want to look at it over the last, let's look over the last 30 days. So you can see it stayed pretty steady. In the last 7 days, it's really started to work its way back up. And I think, once it passes this 1050 mark, which I think it could in the next couple days, I think the lid could come off of it. Current market cap is 108 million, so it's still pretty small cap. And like I said, those team tokens and early seed tokens from their backers are all locked for 2 years. So that's huge. You're not going to get those dripped out every month. So that should add a lot more security to the value of this token. I bought, I think my first 500 I actually got in at like $11 or $12, but it did drop. I didn't get in at 3, but I got in another 500 coins at like $5.50 or $6, so it dropped my average quite a bit. Here's where you can get it: Uniswap, Gate.io, and MEXC. Uniswap, if you can get it on Gate.io, I would suggest if you can get it at a good rate there. The problem with Uniswap is you're going to pay high gas fees. I don't know what they are now. I can look to see. I'm actually going to pull this down because I'm going to look to do a transaction, and I'll give you an idea what gas fees are. It says Sunday night here. Well, it's cheaper than it has been, so it's about $85, somewhere in that range. Still expensive for some, but who knows what's going to happen this week? Every Monday so far, just about, we've had big NFT launches, and so it just makes the gas prices ridiculous. So that's not bad at the moment. One other thing I want to mention to you about Occam.fi, and if you're planning on holding these coins or you want to stake them, they do have a lot of announcements that they made regarding the DEX that's coming out. And I think they're going to have one of the best DEXs on Cardano, especially if they've solved the concurrency issue and nobody else has yet. And that means they're probably going to be ahead of launching a DEX on Cardano before anybody else. So I would definitely look for that. But by staking your coins, you're actually going to get an OccamX coin. And they're going to be releasing the details this week. But the sooner you start staking, the more coins you're going to get in the OccamX. It will be an additional coin that works on the OccamX platform. I believe it's going to be decentralized, so they'll actually have governance. But more information will be released on that soon. But I know a lot of people are excited about getting their OccamX coins because they're only going to stakers. That's the only coin's going to be released right now is to stakers. So you'll definitely want to be a part of that. Again, I'll put some resources and links in the description, and make sure and go check them out. And if you got any questions, just let me know. Put them in the comments, and I'll try to get back to you. Thanks, guys.